We done created a monster here. Welcome to the Independent Investor Channel live stream. Name's Ryan, coming to you from New York City, man, East Coast, United States, man. Thanks for the subscribers to the channel, man. I just had Cashews, whose comment there is pinned on the screen. Come back before the live stream. Should have recorded it. Pretty riveting conversation, man. Pretty cool stuff to find ourselves in the midst of a bull market, the likes of which I have never seen in my life. It's why we do what we do when nobody else is doing it. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you want a different perspective about stock market investing and you're tired of tuning into clowns on social media, why don't you give me a try? All right. I'll throw some unique perspectives out there, the likes of which you have never heard in the investing realm. Certainly by the title of the video, I'd like to center the conversation around what's going on right now with Aduro Clean Technologies, just surpassing the $15 mark. Want to give you all the nuggets I've got. I'll be attempting to kick over some rocks for you, give you some unique perspectives to help you. We got the momentum and the snowball going on this project back many moons ago when nobody knew about the project, right? Company engaged on an outreach program that I was part of to get the word out. I think these guys still feel like they've got an obligation that they're trying to roll out very, very carefully. And knowing how important this solution could potentially be on multiple fronts right now, the focus being on the plastic vertical within Aduro Clean Technology. But for you guys that don't know anything about the company, I do advise you to stick around a little bit tonight. Make your way onto the channel. I drop VIP links into the chat section. You want to come on here, rap with me directly, no problem. If not, I'll run the next 90 minutes myself. I have no problem doing that. You can sit back and listen to my perspectives about, what's going on right now. What I think it could potentially mean now, but more importantly, tomorrow. For the future share owners in the company. For those of you guys who have been on the journey, I'm going to probably open your eyes to some staunch realities about where we sit now with this current project and what it potentially means. Very, very good spaces offering by Wolf Capital, Wolf Research. They did a great job hosting the forum this week. I thought Mina Bechet stole the show. Mina's always been a crowd favorite of mine. I think the guy has a very, very interesting command over the finances, as the CFO should, but I really like Mina's delivery. I like his handle and vision for the company. Ofer and Eric have always been fantastic in their own right. They all have their own specific styles about how they discuss the goings-on at Aduro Clean Technology. Mind you, they are bound in their conversation on what can be forward-facing and disclosed on behalf of the company. So please understand that. All right. Now, before we get started, I want everybody to understand I do plan on being, and always have been for the last 3 years, a share owner in Aduro Clean Technologies. I'm not here to jump up and down and jump through hoops of flaming fire for you. I think stock market investing in and of itself is, quite frankly, significantly more simple than that and much more complex. Attributes of stock market investing that get misconstrued all the time with regard to groups going at each other as to why their stock is the best and why my stock is the best and why your stock sucks and why my stock is the best, why my stock is going up and going to make a bunch of people money and why your stock is going to go down to zero because it's a nothing burger and nobody shouldn't be involved with it. I think all those attempts at trying to put some sort of spin on investing takes away from the purity of the activity and the understanding of what it means to be engaged in an activity like this. And furthermore, I would suggest that for certain folks that have been introduced to Aduro Clean Technologies here in 2025, or by nature of introduction, we're lucky enough to get into the stock at 2022. Some of the folks in my network now are multimillionaires due to their involvement with Aduro Clean Technologies, and that's just the reality of it. Does that mean I'm going to get up here and toot a horn through my asshole? No, it doesn't mean that. Okay. Um, Success in the hands of the right person, myself being that, through the Independent Investor channel and the voice that is representing what it is that we're trying to convey for people, really needs to put stock market investing in a box for people, and understand that, me as an independent investor, I don't need your blessing. Um, I could do away with the criticism, because even now, it's interesting. I've been off the investing and marketing opportunity, not only with Aduro Clean Technology, but indefinitely. I've been solicited by multiple companies, that of which are extremely tempting, because the money is lucrative. I will say that. Um, for those that have a specific angle or twist or opinion about marketing through YouTube, you have a point. You do. I think that just because a company with 4 or 5 million in market cap, and they've got a little budget that they've carved out for advertising, and the first thing they want to do is come onto YouTube, and they have no idea what the what the circle back benefit for the company is going to be before they put tens of thousands of dollars into a marketing campaign and employ the services of a YouTube community that may be um, 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 attracting more of an audience of a certain caliber and a certain capability, and quite frankly, a certain investing aptitude that may or may not fit with the narrative that they're trying to put forward. Okay. I would say this about the Aduro Clean Technologies opportunity. There is no disclaimer necessary for this video. I'm not being paid for this at all. Just so you know that I do own shares in the company, and I do intend on continuing to do so. All of my shares are long currently in Aduro, going back to 2022. For you guys that have been frequenting the independent investor channel and have kind of rode this wave over the last 3 years, I congratulate you. It's been awesome. If you had just invested $1,000 in Aduro Clean Technology, you would be up a significant amount in the name. And I was talking to cashews behind the scene, and that's all anybody whose heart is in the right place is looking to convey information, not only to understand the power of the stock market in, accelerating your coin, plussing up on the black side of the house, right? We all hopefully are working for our money. I'm a blue collar guy. Okay. I don't invest for a living. I'm not trying to wear my reputation on my sleeve. If you looked at my trading around the core of Aduro Clean Technologies, I mentioned this 2 weeks ago. I've been able to create $100,500, so six figures of just trading revenue, and I'm 62 trades deep in it with 100% win. I honestly think that some of the hedge funds that would have you believe that they've got all the answers to the stock market would probably kill for about 1/10 of the instinct that I actually naturally have. And I, again, don't give a shit about your acceptance of me through YouTube. I don't give a shit. The only thing I care about are the people who have taken, reviewed, studied, maybe put to use the information through YouTube, and made themselves that coin, or ended up on the black. That's it. They don't owe me nothing. They don't even owe me a thank you. Social media is a thankless landscape, my friends. It's thankless. All right. And just as the name suggests, I am absolutely independent in my nature. I don't need the assurance of others to understand what it is involved in my deep research of the company. I think, I've been part of, and I do engage in other forums to try to extrapolate some good information in, let's say, the plastic recycling space. And I end up in forums where I see one group of people just absolutely demeaning another group, and we miss the point, right? The point is the stock or the company is going to either go up or down. Get the fuck over yourself and just understand that those are the two dynamics. All right. I've seen shitty companies go up and make people money. I've seen really, really good companies go down and lose people money. Right. The sheer fact of the matter is it's not quite as easy as coming on and just buying a stock low and selling a stock high. That's what everybody thinks. Easy. Well, what's the stock that you own it in, right? Own it short, incur yourself a nice tax obligation. You end up making too much in the short term, gets taxed as income, right? So you're going to lose 35% right off the top of your white meat, right? By giving that away. Trading profit that I talk about on the channel and have for 10 years, man, was trading profit that was generated in the Roth IRA. So I can trade that one day, take profit and white meat. I did that 3 times just this week to the tune of about 15,000 bucks. So not a bad week. Like I said, I've registered about over 60 of those trades on the docket, trading around a core. Now, for you guys that are confused about my base position in Aduro Clean Technologies, those are long shares that I've owned since 2022. Some of those entry prices were around 50, 60, and 70 cents, respectively. Okay. So I've been investing in the name, and like I had disclosed, and I'll disclose to the group now, that initial investment in the company had me with an initial investment of around 6 or 7 thousand bucks, which at the time, pink sheets investing, we're looking at a batch scale of the technology that, has promise. Okay. Building R2, they hadn't even announced it yet. Okay. And it was about that time frame come around to the winter time, January, February time frame, that I actually attended the facility. Okay. And actually synced up. I didn't get to meet Ofer in person, but I did, lucky for me, get to meet Anil Javar, who's the chief scientist. And I believe probably gave me some insights and nuggets that I've conveyed through the channel. And for the handful of people that caught that message, they profited from it. Okay. Um, I sit back sometimes and I watch people like Jeremy with financial education and many others on YouTube, and their character to me comes across as clowns. Like, these are people that I wouldn't even want to be friends with or associate with, or quite frankly, even be around. And yet that people come on and they worship these people for being shitty investors on YouTube. I don't get it. I don't know if you can enlighten me. I'd love to know what your thoughts is on that. And like I said, hedge funds historically fail, right? They're seeking that 20% net of fees to their clients. Okay. So they can go out and be badasses on the golf course and tell everybody that they're involved with the hedge fund, while all the while they're losing their ass in fees and underperforming the market. Okay. Now, for just a little bit of context for you guys and understanding where my loyalty lies, currently, right now, the pulse of the market would suggest that I am preparing for a 6-month correction down the line. Now, whether or not that happens in a month or 6 months down the line, I'm preparing for that right now. Okay. What does that mean? Earmarking some value, going over my watch list, going over some others. If you want to Google the Edward Jones stock focus list, that's a really good tool. You can do it in a couple of seconds, pull it up. I printed it. It's on my other desk right now. That's a really interesting perspective. The Fidelity Deep research that they do is okay. So it's a combination of looking through. I did liquidate some dividend stocks yesterday to the tune of about 4 or 5, I think. I did end up chopping Lockheed Martin just for portfolio position. I do believe that the stock will actually continue to run higher, but it was a position opportunity. And I've been in the stock for the last 6 months, and it just peeked its head above with a little bit of profit. So I went ahead and took that for a positional reason. So that's where we're at. Okay. Um, so I'm preparing now while everybody else is patting each other on the head and fluffing everybody's ass and celebrating how fucking awesome they are at investing. And it's like, none of that is real. I told you I'd give you the goods tonight, right? So for the 22 people, I just think that a lot of people out there really don't give I don't think they give two shits whatsoever about truly seeking out different perspectives about stock market investing that actually work. I think they look for the biggest crowd, the loudest person in the room, somebody who seems to have all the answers, somebody who's elegant and can talk about all kinds of. I mean, I listen to the Pure Cycle folks on the circle, and I wish them all the best. I hope they make money. I do. I do. I own 42,500 shares of Aduro Clean Technology now. I own all of 0 shares of Pure Cycle, and I can't justify for myself actually buying a share, let alone 10 or 100 or 1,000 or, putting any significant capital on it. I am a fan. I sit back and watch how badass they burn capital, and like I said, I don't know if you can throw $600 million at a project and actually not succeed. But the verdict is out, and I'm a fan. You'll see me in those circles. I'll be there, and most of those guys I've invited on the live stream. This being that, I'm not AI. This is me. If you cut me open, I will bleed. But most of those folks that I've invited on the live stream have actually blocked me, so they would have no idea about what profit they're missing out on, or what type of incredible opportunity they're missing out on by actually doing what they consider to be deep research. So yeah, there could be some accusations about me not doing deep research, but yeah, I've actually been to the facility. Um, I've conversed with all the upper management. I support what they're doing, and we're off the project from a marketing perspective, and just to convey on the channel to update you guys in full transparency, I don't have any plans on going back. I don't have any plans on resoliciting the opportunity. I've closed that chapter in respect of the work that has been put in and the success that has been rendered over that portfolio of marketing. And when I started, the company was at 56, 57 cents, and when we stopped, it had uplisted to NASDAQ and ran to 12 and a half, 13 and a half dollars. I'm happy with that body of work, and if there was one referral that could be had through the few dollars, I mean, just pennies on the dollar of impact of people who own rather large tranches of shares in the company, then I chalk that up to be a success in way of the awareness piece. Ask yourself, would you have known about the company had it not been for the referral of the little engine that could, which is the independent investor channel? So in honor of the community tonight, I want everybody to understand it doesn't matter if you're independent in your application. It doesn't matter if you're sniffing the asshole of the person in front of you that thinks that they have all the answer and they sound super elegant and they've got every single bullish point covered and they've got it dialed in to have you believe that it is an absolute certainty to the moon for that company. It doesn't matter if you are 1,000 strong, 10,000 strong. That stock, mark my words, the truth is such to believe that that stock is going to do what that stock is going to do, irrespective of if you're at the power of one or the power of 1,000. So here it is in honor of the group thinkers out there on social media. We'll be back with you in just a moment. So excellent. The current stock price just crept over $15. Um, I think it's a little ahead of itself. I think we are at an impasse where I will be actively monitoring the progress of Aduro Clean Technology. If I can forecast for you guys where I think we should be, we just had a glitch on the channel. Sorry about that. Um, Within a month, I do expect to see some level of movement on the pre-commercial status, that of which we have been earmarking all of 2025, that of which I've conveyed through the channel, and I'll convey to you now. I have chalked up 2025 as being what it has shaped up to be, and that is a bridging year from pre-commercial to a more of a commercial type of entity. Now, the stock is in a little bit of a prove it mode now. I go back to my discussion with Anil Jabbar, the chief scientist of Aduro Clean Technology. He was able to lend a couple of nuggets to me that has really been a bedrock amongst many that I've heard from upper management. But the Shell Game Changer, 3 years removed of such, just announced in the last earnings that there would be some level of graduation. Okay. As a large share owner in the company, that doesn't mean diddly squat to me. Okay. I would like to see something material come out of the program. That's just my insistence and forward offering to you guys for the good of the order. Okay. Now, is anything going to come of it? I don't know. Do I believe that Europe will probably be the first breakthrough for Aduro Clean Technologies? Yes, I do. There are some schools of thought in my very, very tight circle of Aduro Clean Technologies investors that believe the same, and they believe that that first interaction, potential collaboration, is going to come in the form of a potential agreement with Total Energy. I agree with that. Now, the tweet heard round the world to suggest that they are going to ensure that they help Aduro industrialize the technology is one that has got some buzz. I really don't put a lot of stock in buzz right now. That's why I think the stock is running with a little bit of an appetite to be accumulated based on the very, very tight share float. I figure there's about 19 million shares that are available in the float right now. And then upper management and insiders own the remaining, 40% of the company. The remainder outside of that is consumed by retail investors. Now, mind you, there's not a whole lot of institutional interest right now, but I would like to bring your attention to the fact that your market cap sitting right now at about 470 million, give or take a few million, is just knocking on that early entry threshold for institutional investors to take a look at it, and look at that initial possibility once it hits that $500 million mark. So I do look at that as a point of interest. I don't think that there's a whole lot that is going to stop the stock from reaching that $20 threshold, which is going to put us far north of that $500 million threshold. When I was started covering the company, we're at 45 million. And I thought that the value re-rate at that point time put us at 300 million with the value of the technology alone. Okay. Now, for the people out there who think there is no value in the technology, okay, nothing's changed from then to now. I can contend that there is, and they contend that there is not. Okay. At the time, the assessed value of the technology was, anywhere from 100 million to 300 million. I was a little more with the technology, a little bit more on the north side of that in valuing the business and the disconnect between the market cap when we started the project and the value re-rate that Mina Bechet, the company's CFO, alluded to just this week on the Wolf Spaces address that I was happy to be part of. And I hope you guys caught that. If you did not, I highly suggest going over, jumping onto Twitter, making sure that you're on X for all of these conversations and spaces. I thought it was good. Ofer Vicus and Eric Appelman, and as well as Mina Bechet were all on the call. They did a good job. I just think that there's so much restriction now with the non-disclosure agreements that are in place. They don't want to say too much with regard to the goings on that they have with what we know to be 10 plus multi-billion dollar petrochemical companies at present, which is exciting. Again, I would like to see something. I'd like to see something material come out of it. I don't know the magnitude of what's going to be released. I'm not a forecaster. I don't believe in ghosts. Okay. I hate to burst your bubble for some of you guys that are really caught up in that whole, like, I can tell the market and shit. Anybody tells you that they can do that is they're full of crap. I can't tell you how many YouTube, and I don't watch financial YouTubers. It makes me feel stupider, like I have brain cells jumping out my ear when I try to actually sit across from somebody that I would just as soon punch in the face and never associate myself with. But they're worshipped on YouTube for some stupid reason. Why? Because they have charisma. I don't know. You can take that charisma and shove it up your ass. I don't understand. But that's what people are drawn to, and that's great. The more lemmings you can get to follow your message, the better it smells. The further up your nose can go up to somebody's backside. It's awesome. So congratulations on that. I'll just continue to be independent with my application. Invite the people on to have a real conversation about progress in stock market investing. I don't know, making a few dollars for people out there who are working hard, not buying into the million-person following of Dave Ramsey that would suggest that you're too stupid to engage in stock market investing, to seek out something beyond maybe a managed mutual fund or passive S&P 500 investing, which I actually do to the tune of significant amount of wealth. I do both. I do dividend investing. Should I just sell all my dividend stocks and just buy Aduro Clean Technologies? Would I have made more money if I did that? Yeah. Did I do that? No. Am I happy with it? Yeah. Do I regret the decisions that I've made? No. I don't live my life like that. I don't. The way I look at the Aduro Clean Technologies opportunity, and I'll convey to you in just a moment, you're going to enjoy this philosophy. You really are. Because some of you folks, you need to learn some manners on social media. You do. And if it takes me to call you out on it, so be it. I'll be the granddaddy of investing. It's no big deal. And you say, well, Jesus, Ryan, who are you? You only have, 27,000 subscribers on YouTube. You're just a small fry. Yeah, I'm a small fry, but I'll say it again, and I've meant it. Said it 10 years ago. I don't care about seeking your validation. Like, in all fairness, you don't know me and I don't know you. All right. Well, it is fair to suggest that I know me. Absolutely. And what makes me happy is a lot of activity that I engage in away from social media. This is my one spot to come on an average twice or three times a month and give you my deep perspective on investing. And if you hear it, you will absolutely benefit from it. All right. Now, for the people out there that share stock picks, it doesn't mean they're bad people or bad investors or they killed your mother because they recommended a stock through YouTube that has went down. All right. Let me just let that sink in for a moment, just on your pea brain, so you can understand a little bit about where I'm coming from. All right. I only have 5 or so featured channels. And out of each of those featured channels, I know specifically people who have made 7 figures on Aduro Clean Technologies and 6 figures, me being one of them. And I'm talking closing in on $500,000 of profit in Aduro Clean Technologies, and others that have made significant wealth on Aduro Clean Technologies. So it's difficult for me to play into the idea that I'm too stupid and you're too stupid and we're all too stupid to engage in a wealth building strategy that, in my circles of people that I'm looking at, they're doing all right. Uh, Case in point, there was a video that was released this week by Mariusz Skonieczny, who's is a featured channel of mine, and he's a featured channel of mine for a simple reason. Simple, okay? I don't need Mariusz to scratch my back. I don't need him to control my finances for me. I don't need him to make me feel good about myself. I don't need any of it. Okay. What the man does, quite simply, is research stock in a space that is under researched. Okay. Kind of similar to the activity that Penny Queen, who is another featured channel of mine, engages in, one of which I appreciate. And I appreciate the body of work that both of those individuals put through. Now, if I invest in a stock that they put through the ethos and that stock goes down 10, 20, catastrophically goes down, okay, the first reaction of social media is I hate those people. I hate them. Okay. They're the worst people that have ever come across my radar. I wish I would have never met these people. These guys are complete assholes and they're idiots and they're bad investors. Right. Oh boy. Um, so the Voxter news that hit this week, I watched it. He was kind of cutting ties with the scenario. Stock didn't work out. Crazy part about Voxter, just real funny, is that I got the Voxter recommendation from Mariusz. I bought the stock one time. Stock went up and I made money and I sold it. I've been out since. I never rebought the stock. I never engaged back in. With Pure Lock, I made a shit ton of money on the run up, sold it, and then bought back when it dropped down. Now it's continued to digress back. But I guess it would be interesting for me to come on and badmouth the guy for, not controlling my money and my stock picks and my decisions. And quite frankly, everything in way of the decision making process was mine, not his. 100% mine, not his. So it doesn't jive with me to come on and engage in combative dialogue with another content creator who's just trying to provide stock recommendations. It's on you to do your own due diligence. And I don't really understand why that's so difficult to understand for people. Now, I'm quite certain, and I'm going to get to the comments real quick because I saw one pop in there that says something about aren't you the one that invested in Hyliion? What is your point? Please entertain me. What is your point? Number one, do you know why I invested in this stock? Number two, how much I invested in it, how much I made, how much I lost, where the final disposition of the holding was, what my current conviction on the company is, and how that actually relates to my current position and what I've made in Aduro Clean Technology. What does it matter? And I honestly say that because when I looked at at that project, I was absolutely interested in what they had as far as a product. Now they've acquired another product and they've since continued the very product that I was interested in the first place. And you want to know something funny? I'll just impart to you this. After 30 years of investing experience, I started investing when I was 15 years old. Um, that is stock market investing. Yeah, yeah. And if I could just package up, if I could just morph like a ball of Play-Doh, I'm gonna make this real simple for you. All of the trials and tribulations and learnings and bad beats and all the stock market recommendations from Mary Yush that just chapped my ass. Roll it up into a wad of Play-Doh, right? Jeremy, he's super charismatic, but he shares so many stock picks and they all go down. I wanna lump them into a big wad of Play-Doh for you, man, and I could give it to you. I would. I would. Because the savvy investors that I know, they've incurred bad beats. In other words, I don't know an investor out there that has 100% batting average or 1,000% batting average. I don't know a perfect investor out there. A lot of investors out there, their game is to convey that they are the best, especially those folks that manage the fund, right? And there's people in the pure cycle community, man, that I can just tell by looking at them within 2.5, maybe just give me another half a second, 3 seconds. They're a piece of shit. They're just bad people because their interaction with people starts with a combative dialogue. I'm going to put you down, and that way it'll make me feel good. And it'll make the optic of what I'm trying to do good. The funny thing about it is you look below the surface, look at what their performance is and the funds that they oversee. They suck. They picked the wrong career, honestly. They should have been Walmart greeters. They would have been awesome at that. Could you imagine walking into Walmart and having like somebody say, "You suck," or "You're terrible. You don't have a college degree like me. I'm smarter than you. I'm better than you, and I'm a better investor than you." Right? Yeah. Kind of unfortunate, to be honest with you, to try to join those circles and get anything useful out of it in trying to understand. It seems like it's like a war, right? And one side's fighting the war, and they perceive it as such to be, if they win the war, that their stock is gonna end up being a $50 billion stock. It's awesome. I'm a fan. I'm entertained by that type of garbage. I am, insanely, right? Um, but hell, I'll listen for sure. But those bad beats, man, they teach you everything that you need to know about the potential of the stock market. And the funny ass thing about my message when I come on and talk to people, I give you both sides of the coin. Okay. I'm not one of those guys that come on and I tell you, look, it's possible to put yourself on this magic carpet and jump on the magic carpet, and you've got this magic neon green drink that you're going to drink, and you're going to end up just cruising into the promised land. And 12 and a half days later, you can retire and never work again. I don't know. I think the younger generation needs to pull their head out of their severely lodged up their ass. They just pull it out of their ass. I worked 25 years, man, in investing to even have what I felt to be the the sheer tolerance and the perspective necessary to enter into an advanced trade in the capacity that I have, the fitness, the investing fitness. Do I presume that somebody is going to enter into Aduro Clean Technologies with no fitness, and me with all the fitness I needed and the tolerance necessary to hold the stock true? The comparison between the two is an interesting one because we're both going to make money, right? The question is, it's not as easy as buying low and selling high. So what is it, Ryan? Here it is. Buying at the perfect injection point is close to impossible. The very hard-earned capital that you take and put to risk in the stock market, especially in speculative investing, needs to be done so with extreme care. Okay. My initial position in Aduro Clean Technology was not hard-earned dollars. It was soft-earned dollars through Cornerstone Capital Solutions. And I put that money, instead of going out and blowing it on a 150-inch TV, I invested in stock. That's what I did. Ryan, you suck. You're an idiot. You're shallow. You're a moron. All right, I'm a moron. Put the money to work in Aduro. Savvy, right? It's not money that I'm making to put food on the table and taking out of my college, my kids' college education fund or their retirement funds, all that stuff separate, right? I'm doing okay, but initially invested, okay? Stock runs up 3 years later. I end up taking some profit off of the table to the tune of making sure that that initial investment is covered. And I will declare to the audience, just shy of 40 minutes into the live stream, the initial investment is free of charge. Okay. I am now on house dollars. For you advanced investors that know what I'm talking about, you're like, shit, I'm glad I found the independent investor channel. You're a pretty cool guy. Ryan, awesome. I'm subscribed. I'm in. For you guys that are hedge fund operators that just heard what I said, you're probably one of two things, either jealous or pissed off. Yeah, because you wish that you could have that. For you guys that don't understand, um, it could potentially take a while for you to understand the psychology that it takes to engage in this level of investing, application, and understanding that all the intangibles that you need to succeed in investing are probably over here, and everything in social media and all the social circles Man, I've seen some doozies. Holy moly, moly, moly. There's some X threads out there that I go back and review, and I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe that that is still carved in stone. I would go back and scrub it. These people look like absolute idiots because they thought that the game was such to engage in this war, and the trophy that was sitting in the middle was pure cycle to $50 billion dollars or Aduro to zero. We don't care what pure cycle does as long as Aduro loses. Me, I'm like, we need as many solutions as we can possibly get to tackle the plastic problem. Would you like me to repeat? We need as many solutions as we can possibly bring to bear because all of the solutions that have been brought to bear over the last 50 years have not worked. That's not true, Ryan. They do work. Paralysis works. Really? Then why does 90% of plastic end up in the ocean or the landfill? I will wait. Maybe Aduro does fail. I don't know. There's a piece of me and an inkling in the back of my mind that actually hopes that these guys have the solution of the century. Not from an investor's perspective, but from a sheer steward of the earth. A human effing being living, walking, breathing on the earth. And if you'd like to educate yourself up on the negative impacts of microplastics and the damaging effects that it's having both on our food chain and human beings, I suggest maybe you open up a book or read a news article on the topic. Okay. You want substantiation to understand why we do what we do. Aduro Clean Technologies is an easy idea to get behind. Okay. Now, what I was talking about behind the scenes with Cashews, who came on and talked to me in the VIP, uh, and had a little pre-funk with me. It was kind of cool conversation anyway, is I am aggressively looking at that catalyst that could, in the short term, present itself within the month. Do I think what we know now about the technology, the batch scale validation that was introduced to me, along with the preliminary build of the R2 that had just been commissioned, like literally the week that I went and did as part of my deep research in the company, in talking to senior management, it had just been able to provide that continuous flow data and show that it was possible to be able to feed the reactor on a continuous flow basis and still get those high yields at the low temperature. Okay. Now I'm giving you some nuggets to kind of do some due diligence on. I am back feeding you what I am trying to jam. I mean, jam. Okay. Like Play-Doh into 90 minutes of due diligence that has been conducted over the last 3 years. And there's a lot there. How is Aduro going to make money? How is it that they're going to scale the technology? Where are they now? They said that they're moving at back-breaking speed, to use Eric Appelman's words in the spaces. I agree. I'm happy with the speed that they're moving. I agree. The petrochemical industry does move slowly. I agree with all of that. But where we end up going now is going to be based on the thesis that has been generated over the last 3 years to suggest that this solution, I'm going to give you the elevator pitch. Okay. Here it is. Comparatively speaking, Aduro Clean Technologies' business model allows them to take the solution from a modular perspective to the problem. Do you understand now how that differs from the field of dreams perspective of if you build it, they will come? If I build it to the tune of $600 million, plastic, high quality feedstock is just going to magically flow in. Economically beneficial, I might add. and flow through this plant and magically come out the other side and render a product that is going to be bought within the marketplace. And it's all going to be centered around Ironton, Ohio. Maybe Field of Dreams was actually shot in Ironton, Ohio. It was Iowa, if I'm remembering correctly. Kevin Costner would have my ass for sure. Yeah. Take the solution to the problem. Okay. If a facility needs one reactor capable of 8,000 tons a year, so be it. Multiplied by X number of reactors for the anticipated feedstock input to that reactor system times the number of reactors that you need gives you the total number of output that you're able to produce. The renderings go to the cracker feeder in support of the circular economy that gets introduced as, I'll call it feedstock resin for the lack of better terms, that is going to be transformed into new material, thus being considered recycled plastic. Something that I want you to keep in mind when it comes to the Aduro Clean Technologies opportunity as well, that you might not have thought about. You basically own 5 companies right now. 5. Okay. You own Aduro United States, Canada. They're domiciled in Canada, but they're listed on the NASDAQ. So let's just call it, if this thing catches flame in the United States, it's on. Number 2, Aduro Europe, the European division. Okay, that's subsidiary of Aduro, all under the Aduro umbrella. Okay, the plastic vertical, the renewable oil vertical, as well as the heavy oil upgrading vertical. The latter two are the ones that have not been exploited, but there's extreme value in applying the hydrochemolytic technology. It's a platform technology. If you don't know what that means, it can be applied across multiple verticals to lend itself to the economics of that specific process. Okay. In other words, reduce the level of diluent needed to transfer the oil sands from Canada down to the United States, right? Aduro can play a part in that. They are not approaching that vertical right now, but make no mistake about it, that little $15 share that's screaming, hey, all right, we're moving nicely. You own part of that. Okay. The ability to take spare tires, in other words, complex polymers. Okay. You own that as well. There's been very good progress on that front, heavy oil upgrading, and renewable oil vertical as well. But right now, they're so focused on the plastic vertical because of the interest that's garnered right now from the companies. And I find it interesting how it gets dismissed all too often. Um, I think if I were a bear, I would at least be compelled to acknowledge some of the bullish characteristics. Now, if I didn't think that those relationships exist, I would just come over the top and say, I don't believe that they're real. I don't believe that anything will materialize from them. Okay, no problem. You're entitled to your opinion. I happen to believe that that is going to unfold, and it could unfold sooner than we think. With what I think, and I've already conveyed on the live stream, where I think that first opportunity is going to go. And I tell you what, if it does break through with the European company, I think it's fitting that the Europeans are the ones that actually do lead from the front on this topic. I could be surprised, and it could be the U.S., but I just don't think that we're not we're not providing the shining example on this front. Okay. Stakeholder interest, shareholder interest, company profits, uneconomical solutions thus far up to 2025 have lend itself to the problem that we have now, where we're faced with, looming global restrictions and potential incentives, I might add, but also mandates to ensure that a certain amount of produced plastic that's put into the economy actually is represented in a certain percentage of recycled material, right? So the idea is that we phase this process in over time. So I think it's great. I think the initiatives are great. I just think that the Europeans are ahead of us on this, way ahead of us. I don't even think it's close. And I kind of think that's where the first breakthrough will be. So I'm monitoring the landscape. We'll see how things transpire going forward. I would expect that you guys do as well, and I'll report out on the project as such. Okay. Now I don't do these live streams every Friday and devote them to Aduro Clean Technologies. I opened it up to the Twitter feed. If I saw somebody that was coming on live to YouTube and I had a computer and I had a YouTube account and I saw somebody coming on live to talk about Aduro Clean Technology, you would bet your ass I would be there. And I find it interesting. I probably have my normal 30 subscribers in this live stream right now. Hell, some of you guys are probably millionaires from Aduro. Isn't that ironic? And I'm not a cartoon. I'm not AI. And I'm not an asshole either. Mm. Just the contrary, actually. The truth of the matter is, I'm a pretty interesting fella to get to know, actually. For a subscription to my channel, you can actually put the Independent Investor channel in your back pocket, keep it the rest of your life free of charge. I don't charge you a dime. Let's get to some comments. If we've got any interested parties here, that'd be kind of cool. We've got Helen, who's been with me for multiple years. Very cool. Same here. Highland was tough. It was tough. It was a tough investment. It's really interesting when the bull case gets completely uprooted from the project, right? We had hyper trucks that were working, rated to 1,000 miles running on liquefied natural gas. What a fantastic idea. Was it premature? Was the relationship with the OEM, that being Dana Logistics, was it oversold? Was the hype around the SPAC process and, coming out with a massive valuation and then expecting that the company was going to live up to that valuation, right? Was a fallacy in and of itself. So I think it's fair on those fronts. When Ryan introduced me to Aduro, it was the game changer. Even while I was licking my wounds, I could see how special Aduro is, right? So I'll comment a little bit on that. I say this to my circles all the time. It couldn't have come at a worse time. I was introduced to Aduro at the absolute worst time. Yeah, just coming off that bad beat, doing everything I could possibly do. Remember, I mean, the stock went from 55, it went all the way down to where it sits now, just north of 2. I mean, it just broke $2. And this was since what, 2019? I mean, 2020 had 2021, 22, 23, 24. They were supposed to be up into the billions of revenue. And what does that teach you? What's the lesson that can be gleaned from that? Do I dwell on it? No, no. Does it mean that I quit investing? Well, if I had quit investing, where would I be now? Aduro was an absolute game changer in the deal. And again, back to Mariusz, and I like talking about, how I vet information, not just specific to his channel, but every channel out there. I don't tune into a channel and think, oh my goodness, I've just found the second coming of Christ and buy every stock that somebody has to recommend me. I don't do that. As a matter of fact, it's very rare that I will ever act upon what I hear on YouTube. And I would encourage each and every visitor of the Independent Investor channel to accept the information I convey just the same. You don't have to rush out and fall all over yourself to buy stock that a YouTuber tells you to buy. You don't have to do that. That's pathetic and irresponsible if you come to think about it. Okay, well, why do we do what we do, Ryan? Well, because 15 years ago, we didn't have the opportunity to come together as a community and present options. Freaking present options, man. You don't have to take all your dollars and dump it on every option you play. This is not roulette. Okay? Be a little bit more diplomatic about what we're trying to do here on the project. Okay? We're trying to bring people together. We're not trying to tear people apart. I'm not trying to start a war with the Pure Cycle folks. I actually think there's no way you could dump 600 million on a project and not make money. Freak. I actually think that of all the problems that they've had at the plant and all the lack of validation, and now they don't even have the one solidified and they're going and trying to build another one. Okay. I'm cheering for you. I really am. Okay. And you can take all of your elegance and all of your groupthink and all of your engagement with upper management, who I've listened to their CEO and I think he's a showman. I think he'll sell you on anything that you are willing to buy. That's my instinct, and that's my application. And it probably speaks to the reason why I don't have one red share of Pure Cycle Technologies. That's why. Okay. I don't believe the shit that you're putting down. A lot of people come in and say, well, Jesus, Ryan, the technology is not real. Nobody's going to buy the technology and Aduro Clean Technologies. Really? Have a little common sense about this. Don't take it from me. I'm a nobody. I'm a small fry. And this is what I would discuss with these people had they not blocked me. Every one of them. Every one of them blocked me. I don't know why. Invited them nicely. I cordially invite you to come to the live stream. I talk about it most Fridays. Let's talk about it. Let's have a debate. I think for the majority of people, they feel most confident within a circle of fire where that fire burns across a common theme, right? And that's why I give those two kids a lot of credit to go into that meat grinder and subject themselves to unprofessional bullshit, name calling, an attack on their character and their professionalism. They tried that shit with me, and I would have flipped that entire group on their head. Yeah, but guys like myself, independent, we're kicking ass on our own. Again, I don't operate to need any type of validation from anybody, and I expect you guys to operate just the same. You don't need to make me happy. You don't need to make anybody else out happy. You don't need to prove it to social media circles. You don't need to do any of that. All you have to do is prove it to yourself. Okay? Yes, you'll pass on opportunities. No problem. You should be able to deliberately sit in circles of a company that you absolutely disagree with, sit across from those people and have an intelligent conversation about the topic at hand. And I would do that with Stan. I gave him kudos on X. I think that guy's a super, super smart guy. He's the one guy that I listen to who's actually very, very intelligent. Very intelligent. Impresses me. Very good. But does the person have the ability to engage in constructive dialogue with another human being? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Um, and for me, most of the time, when it's somebody that I don't know and I don't meet and I come on, I'm taking a creative risk by bringing those folks on the channel to discuss a topic that emotionally charges people to forget themselves. They forget themselves. They think I am who I am, I can somehow belittle somebody for what I perceive them to be trying to convey to an audience on YouTube. And that, in essence, is all they're trying to do. And they're entitled to say what they need to say. Sorry. Yeah. You don't get to censor them. You don't get to do that. They can say whatever they want. All right. They can call you a prick, which you are. you know? Yeah. Yeah. Just some unique perspectives for you guys. Take to the bank, man. Very good. Let's cruise to the top here, man. Get into some of these folks. The first comment of the night. Jamie, VIP with me, man, in my private group. Appreciate you, brother. It's been with me a long, long time. He's put the Independent Investor channel in his back pocket. Hopefully he's profited from it. Get Steve at 007. Very good. Good to see you. Gives a thumbs up to the message. I thank you very much. I think that's a good thing. It would be better than a thumbs down. Awesome. Awesome. Bobby's in the house. What's up? He's one of my mentors. I shared that with a group of young professionals, and I think they looked at me and they had no idea who Michael Jordan was. And I was like, oh God, I'm old. Wow. So to each his own, to each his own with what motivates you, I guess. Yeah, pretty funny. life is good. We do the best we can. Good evening, like-minded people. Special shout out to the Aduro holders with the big faces on their faces. Good stuff. It was a good conversation we had behind the scenes before we came loud. Jared, good stuff, man. Thanks for coming on. It's great to see you. It's awesome. Very good. And Oren, very good. I didn't mean to pick you out talking about the others. It's just not the title of the video, and I don't release content on that anymore. If you'd like me to, I can. I don't have a vested interest in the name, you know. This stock is down 140. Yeah, so good. Listen, man, here's the deal. I've been doing this a long time. So if you ever touched a rhino, yeah, or an alligator, um, they got pretty thick skin, right? So I used to play this game on social media like 10 years ago, maybe. Um, and so I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what your intent is, but I wish you all the well on your journey. I do. All right. Very good stuff. And yeah, no, I have. It's good. Thank you for pointing that out. It's fantastic. I've invested in 10,000 other opportunities as well. And so we'll keep that comment up there. We'll jump in. We'll do portfolio review and show everybody where the investment lent itself when I invested in that one name. And that's what people want to remember. And that's what people want to judge me on: my personality, my devotion to my family, devotion to country, my overall just being kind of a badass, to be honest with you. Here it is: taxable joint account, 162,000, 149. Hold just 2 stocks in there right now currently. Right, here's Roth 1, just over $250,000 in that portfolio. Very good. 5 holdings. Being a little bit careful, put some cash to the side. Good stuff in that. And not to be overdone, this is my Roth with closing in on $500,000 in that portfolio, $403,000, 257. Yeah, no, the Hyliion really shows here. Very good stuff. And then we've got the passive account, that of which I put 0 effort in when I'm out making my kick-ass salary at my job. It's a mere 41,616. Why? Because I didn't spend it over the course of my life being an asshole, because I don't need a lot of stuff to be happy. Isn't that lovely? Yeah, it's great. Here's the front end of the dividend portfolio. This is a good one. It's the tickers are there. I did take a little bit off the top end. Lockheed Martin, mostly in the defense sector. I did keep General Dynamics as just a placeholder in there. But, the 70,000, I didn't even update this. And then the bottom end, the dividend portfolio around 96,000. So just shy of 100 grand in the dividend portfolio. But yeah, it's a good reason why I do the independent investor channel and start my LLC based on my ability of, 1/10 probably of what would be the envy of most hedge fund investors if they had 1/10 of the instinct that I have to actually do something funny in investing, make money. Yeah, make money. It's amazing. Yeah. Thrift savings plan, closing in on 200 grand in this account. No big deal. Let's crop out of there. Oh, that's it, Ryan. Nope, we've got more. We're good. 61, shy of close, 62,000. Yep, that's all good. It's all good. Yep, we're doing good. 22,000 cash. Got some cash, euro cash. It's all good. Got some euro. Yep, foreign currency. How much do you have? Why don't you come on? The link is actually there. Come on. Tell me to my face how crappy of an individual I am for conveying success. Success, i.e., self-made millionaire. Do you want to be one? Okay. Why don't you put down the accusations, clean out your ears a little bit, and listen for a little bit? You might actually get there. 401k, matching funds. This is very good. Alternative investments. This is a category that I share with you guys and have for quite a while. There it is. Total renderings, just portfolio value, not net worth. I have a lot more treasure to lend to this because I'm a collector. I started with nothing, and I have what it is that I'm disclosing to you guys, just shy of $1.4 million. Self-made millionaire. Yippity doo dah, dippity day. I come on. I give you the goods. I do everything I can to try to kick over rocks with the idea of helping people. Yeah. It's not really one of those things that I mean, there's people with significant more wealth than myself, and that's a good thing. I celebrate success. I don't come on and throw rocks at people and try to do that. The funny thing about it is in real life, man, I would never have somebody do that to me. They know they'd get punched in the face. And people don't usually like that very much. Yeah. Yeah. It's a cool thing about social media, man. It gives you a voice. Kind of cool. And I probably convey a lot of the voice of what a lot of people in this country are feeling currently in 2025, man. Very cool stuff. Let's get on with it, man. We'll stop highlighting that jerk off. We'll never see him again. Very good VPU. That's a very good utility ETF from Vanguard. Very good. I do own that in the sector portfolio. Very cool. Good evening. Very good to see you, my friend. It's been a very, very busy week. Very cool. Very cool. Excuse me. Mike C is in the house. Wonder if this is my uncle. I have an uncle, Mike C. Are you my uncle? You got to just put in the comment section if this is my uncle Mike. I don't know. Could be. Had some bringing some people together. I don't ever have my family come on here, man. You guys are my independent investor family. Ryan, learning and benefiting for years since you were in Hampton Roads. Yep, I was. A friend worked with you and recommended you. Learned a lot. Appreciate your independent mind. Thank you. My independent mind is what I convey. I'd like to see a little bit more independent application amongst the people who deploy, put to work, and most importantly, benefit from this discipline. Mm, Um, I'm not perfect, but attempting to build this up over time, I do share that. Those are real numbers as of today. Oh, Ryan, you're a liar. Okay, fair enough. Aduro's going to zero. Fair enough. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. He says, no, I'm not your uncle. Very cool stuff, man. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you coming on, brother. It's good stuff. And yeah, always welcome. I'm happy to hear that you're getting some benefit from the channel. Very good. I invested highly on luck and lost. Didn't let that define me. Ryan taught me that, up a measly 40% year to date. You got to be up better than that. I just looked at my year to date performance. I'm up 78%. I don't prescribe to that. I don't teach upon it. I don't, I'm a match the market type of fella, and you can do that by investing in the S&P 500. A big portion of my wealth, if you didn't pick that out of the portfolio review, is tied up in S&P investing. But when you've got a company like Aduro that, I mean, good God, I was up another 40 grand just a day. I was up 70, 80, 90 or so thousand this week. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 But I'm an asshole, and I'm sorry. I do apologize. I'd like to take this opportunity to apologize to anybody who comes to the channel and is misconstrued in the message. Like to take this opportunity to focus on you for a moment, and maybe I don't know, air the ways of our application. Maybe get a little bit of a head about you and make some adult decisions yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's good to see you, my friend. Thank you, Dave, for popping on. It's good to see you, man. Awesome stuff. Steve's in the house. Very good. Welcome to the group. If it's you, Steve, thank you for the support. That very much helps me. I'm at an impasse with some of my projects. The independent investor channel, if I can part to you, is this. It's like this. Have you ever seen the old movie? It's an old movie from the 70s or 80s, The Blob. The independent investor channel is kind of like The Blob, this big amoeba looking pink piece of shit thing that's moving slowly in a direction, but I don't necessarily know what direction it's going to go in, right? That's me right now. And the reason I'm so steadfast on the live stream is I actually enjoy this. It's a fun element of it. It's like volunteering for soccer coaching. I don't get paid for that. It's some of the most fulfilling stuff I do. I'm in the gym every single day at 5 a.m. It's free of charge. Love it. Part of my life. Great. What? You mean you don't take your portfolio into the gym with you and bench press it over your head? No, the two really don't have much to do with each other. I'm a pretty happy fella, whether or not I had this thing call a portfolio or not. I'm a pretty happy fella. You could put me on a boat dockside, I'd be happy. Mhm. Yeah. Big fan of Aduro, took a loss in Hyliion, but, glad I got back up and took another swing. Great company doing great things. Yeah, very good. Just keep an eye on the discipline. This is high stakes, high speculation, yada, yada. There's nothing I can do to fully convey on the channel the magnitude and depth of my own personal portfolio and the fact that let me just throw this out there. I'm due a pension when I retire. The pension, if I was going to invest my entire life and draw the income off of my pension for just waking up every single day and breathing, I wouldn't need to invest at all. Okay. And so if you look at it from that perspective, the question is, how is it that Aduro is insulated in my life? Could I take a 40% haircut in the stock and actually come out of it okay? Would that be a catastrophic cut to my net worth? You know, things to think about as it relates to your total portfolio. It's a larger portion of my portfolio, but it is very, very much insulated with the level of trading activity that I've put into the name, as well as taking that strategic profit off the table. And like I conveyed to you, right now the entire position is it's house money. So, if The Walking Dead started tomorrow and none of this mattered, and I was, fighting zombies and stabbing them in the head, you know, it wouldn't be a big deal. But in the interim, I'm going to continue to fight the battle because, you know, the apocalypse has not been bestowed upon us just yet. But thanks for stopping by, Steve. Thank you very much, man. Yeah, glad I got to just my bride and I are heading to the casino for a night. Very good. It was funny, man. If you're still on, have a good time at the casino. Have a blast. I went to the casino last week. Mohegan Sun up in Connecticut. And I walked around for like an hour and a half. All $25 tables. I like to play blackjack just for fun, but I remember the days when I used to play a little more. $1 blackjack and at most $5 blackjack. And I hope they still have that in Las Vegas because seemingly that might be the only place I can go to play some cards anymore. Because I walked around the casino for an hour and a half, did not sit down, got with my buddy, sat down at a video blackjack deal, played 3 hands, won all 3, cashed out for $7. And that was all I gambled all night. Got a free drink out of the deal. That was it. I cannot make sense of it anymore. I can't. Why? I've got 62 Aduro trades, swing trading just contained in 2025 and mostly recent trades, I might add, and they're all winners. You can't get that kind of odds in the casino. You just can't do it, right? Have a good time, man. It's good to have you, and it's awesome to have you in the group. This was probably one of my rants that I threw out there. He says, "Hell yeah, Ryan." Sometimes I do that, and I'll say "hell yeah" in the back of my mind because I'm making a point and trying to call out stupidity. Which is cool because the Independent Investor Channel gives a small fry like myself a voice, which is kind of cool. I can respond and fight back on all the lunacy. Not all of it because it's pretty rough. 525 shares of house money in Hyliion. I'm hoping that their generator can be, and I think it will. I think it's just turned the corner. And who's to say that in the next 1 year, 2, 3, 5, 10 years that this story doesn't blossom into something very, very special. And I hope that it does. I like the Carno idea. With the discussions of alternative fuels and the mandates kicked out to 2050, I think it's fantastic. I think they're going to do okay. They've got some compelling agreements with both the Navy and abroad. So, from a student perspective, I still cover the stock, no problem. I just don't cover it intimately enough to, step into it with the necessary conviction, but I'm interested. And I, unlike a lot of people who would, I don't know, somehow get off on people's losses, I actually wish the best for people. There's a novel concept for you. God dang, this guy's actually kind of nice. He must be bullshitting. No, no, I mean it. I wish you all the best. I hope you actually make money. I hope you actually do something special. Yeah. So novel concept, huh? Good stuff. Anthony's in the house. Anthony's been with me for a long, long time, man. Just got on better than ever, I guess. I don't know. Had a lot of practice in this, but I guess you get into the routine after what 1,000 pieces of content live. You know, guess you get a so yeah. The troll has left. It's kind of cool. Kathy's next. Great to see you. Amazing week. I got a new job offer, quit my job today. Jesus, my supervisors were threatening me, have to quit with the gain from Aduro. Nice, man. Good for you, Kathy. The more people can, realize their freedom in this life, and let's be real, part of the deep rooted fire, that drives me and what I do. Most people are fucking owned by the system. They're owned. They're owned. I'm owned to some capacity, man. Are you? Um, money can solve a lot of problems as far as that. Can break free in certain categories. Maybe I don't know. You step outside yourself and maybe help somebody else out there. You know what I'm saying? Needs your help. That's okay. I can help you, man. I'm not saying giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm talking about a chunk of money that can fucking save somebody's life, right? And you have the power to do that. Now, if you don't have any money, it's no problem. There's no judgment on you. You could be a phenomenal person. But I'm talking for those people who are truly looking to define and carve out some alpha in their life. It gives you options. It meets my financial goal, which is security. In one word, security. That's it. That's why I do what I do, along with the idea that as I approach, I'm 48 years old now. I know I don't look it. I get it. Thank you. I appreciate that. I know that's what you were thinking. As I approach middle age, I look at where I'm at, and I take some comfort in knowing that I thought I did it hard. I tried to stay on the front side of the wave of life. I was never complacent. I worked very, very hard. Did I incur losses? Yes, I did. But I did so by trying. I don't know. Maybe you should try trying someday. Try it. You might like it. You might at times hate it. You might actually surprise yourself, trip and fall into some level of success, hit yourself in the face, and you'll wake up, look in the mirror, and you'll be like, God dang, look at that success on my face. That Ryan's all right. Holy crap. Maybe I shouldn't have poked the bear with my Hylion joke. Having some fun, man. Couple more minutes. We'll wrap it down, guys. I just want to get through the comments here. Also I'm enjoying myself too, man. I'm sitting back watching. Kind of fun to watch and listen to this guy for sure. It's kind of cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's doing well. Like I said, I mean, it's, the closer we get to the prove it, I'm actively looking for that prove it moment. And I've been awaiting this fall impasse all year in 2025. I think the news in 2025 has lent itself to this potential announcement. Big, small, medium. I don't know, guys. I don't know. But it sure is setting up to be something interesting, is it not? Um, no, I don't know. And I'm willing to move in either direction. I'm willing to reevaluate, reassess value. The market's doing that now, just shy of 500 million. North of 500 million, institutional investments start to take hold. That's the threshold of entrance. So we're knocking on that door. We're 30 million away. We could be there next week, right? So, stand by for rolls. I'm very thankful at the opportunity, and I'll continue to give you my very, very best. I'm not one of those dickheads that come onto social media and I'm like, I'm fucking awesome. I'm going to show you the stock to the moon, and put out a stupid thumbnail that makes you believe I'm a phenomenal investor. Blah, blah, blah. No, that doesn't help anybody. Doesn't help anybody. I'm more interested in results, and I do take a few moments to acknowledge that we 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 kick some ass on this one. Hmm. Hmm. There's some people that assess the stock up to now that were dead wrong, and you know, are they going to continue to be proven wrong? I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller. Okay, this is just stock market investing. If you've listened to me now for an hour and 21 minutes, man, if you haven't got that yet, right? Living legend. No, no cap. No crap. No crap. Living legend. Victor, you're the man. Thanks for coming on, man. Could be $100 stock. Should be fun. We will see. We have to be very, very careful about the catalysts that are introduced. All right. So we'll see how this thing transpires. Again, I've kicked over as many rocks as I can from my small corner of YouTube, from the little chain that could, the little channel that could, and we're gonna keep on tooting that horn for sure, because at the end of the day, talk is talk, accusations are accusations, and cute little shots across the bow on social media to Ryan, because you can, and you're so powerful with your keyboard. At the end of the day, results are results. I can't give you my instinct. Sorry. Remember when I talked about the hedge funds? I can't sell you my instinct. I mean, they're priceless. Sorry. And I just think there's a lot of hedge fund managers out there that just pick the wrong fucking career. It's your fault. Choose wisely. It's the same thing with your spouse. Choose wisely. All right. I hit a home run there too. So hit home runs in your life. Okay. You want to just go up and strike out all the time? Maybe you should change your approach. Okay. Appreciate you. Stock Unlock OG, very good. Thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate you. Sorry for the late call out. I would have started at the bottom, man. But it's good to see you. Thanks for coming on. HM Investor, very good. Appreciate you. Very good. And all the best to you. Yep. At the end of the day, fun and games, maybe a little entertainment value. But at the end of the day, all we are looking to do is get a little bit ahead. You accelerate your wealth. You have no idea how that alpha accelerates you on a year over year basis. You know, it's just absolutely empowering to understand how you can accelerate your process. Okay. Carefully. Okay. Remember what I said. I took 25 years of boring investing to take the shot. And I believed that I had the tolerance and the credibility and the fitness, which is a wonderful word for how I felt when I took the opportunity to engage in that. The timing was horrible, but the fitness and the opportunity lent itself to me taking that chance. And I conveyed with you the results of that. All right. Got Guy in the house. I like your general thinking about stock and the way not being impressed by people. Just do the way you want. I absolutely feel that way. Absolutely. You can be motivated. You can go to a Tony Robbins symposium and get leadership discussion and pick up all kinds of. It's great to be around people. It's great to be motivated by people who are motivated. It's great to get consensus advice on a lot of topics. Investing can be one of them, but at the end of the day, you have to remember that there are attributes of investing that are unique to investing and only investing. You've heard the cliche, there is no emotion in investing. That could not be more true. Okay. You cannot think your way to profits. You cannot join any number of Discord groups out there that is going to somehow incrementally give you an edge. It doesn't mean a mother effing thing. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you have to look and find and apply that edge. That's a page out of my playbook. Uh, I am critical of information I hear. I am open to discussion. I am not reactive, especially when it comes to stock picks. I don't do that. I stopped doing it on the independent investor channel. As I've evolved as a content creator and an influencer, I want to make sure that people are influenced on the right stuff. If you heard me tonight, the right stuff is be independent with your application, find a really good spouse, exercise, go to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 days a week. Okay. All of the intangibles that I throw out there, those are the good things. Volunteer, coach for free, all that good stuff, man. Very good stuff. Self-directed, wouldn't have any other way. When I started the channel, this was a new concept. Nobody was talking about it. I was the pioneer of this. There was nobody talking about it on YouTube, which if there's any, I guess, regret on the project, it would be that I thought that the idea of taking charge of your own money was much more intriguing to people out there. The problem with it is selling somebody on the scary proposition of taking charge of your own money, as liberating as it is a very, very difficult sell for the majority of people. Okay, so therein lies the 10-year evolution of the independent investor channel, man. First choice bathroom remodeling. Fantastic. I'll keep you in mind in the future. Very good. And Mike says he's not my uncle. That's awesome. Thanks for the clarity. The HM. We'll check that for sure. Thank you. I will check that after I come off. I appreciate that. The HM investors in the house. Very good. That guy, if someone win doesn't mean I lose. Same way around too. Yep. Agreed. Very good. Good evening, Ryan. I remember you doing M1 videos showing you making a Benjamin in 100 stock portfolio. It's crazy you mentioned that. And I thank you for bringing that up. I think M1 Finance is the best discount brokerage. It's not public. It's a private company. It's not publicly traded like Robinhood, which has just gone to the moon, which I think is funny. Even some of the stock circles that really I knew Robinhood was going to perform well in the market. I was not interested in supporting that just for the sheer. It's the independent thing, guys. I hate Robinhood. I fucking hate it. It's like, and I'm 100% on it. Okay, you can probably invest in it, make all kinds of money, no problem. I wish you all the best, no problem. But as far as a broker that I'm gonna use, and I've been with them before, I closed my account. No, thank you. M1 Finance, phenomenal. Absolutely the best for beginning passive investors, partial share investing, dollar cost averaging, everything that you would want to support diversification on a little bit of money. Anybody with less than, let's say, 25,000 could start with M1 Finance. And then if you wanted to leverage, do a like in kind transfer, you could do that after your experience with M1. My experience with M1 Finance was phenomenal from start to finish. Unfortunately, I don't have money with them anymore. I don't do affiliate anymore with them. I interviewed the CEO, Brian Barnes, awesome guy, inceptor of the company, phenomenal idea, and I would love to have him get 1/10 of the attention that Robinhood gets, because from a perspective of looking at the broker that could actually help people, M1 Finance fits that category for me, whereas Robinhood, I think, probably does more damage for people than good. But thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it. Started more. Appreciate your service. Yeah, stay with them, man. They're good. They're real good. At the time, I was looking to consolidate accounts, and that's what I did. I moved to Fidelity, and that's what I did. And no right, wrong, or indifferent there. Remember, the broker that you choose is just your conduit to the market. And if you're happy with your broker, the aesthetics, the research that's offered through the broker, then stick with them. And it's as simple as that. All right. Very good stuff. I live in London. Oh, yes, that's crazy. Um, that's where they are. I mean, I was in Sarnia. That was the where R2 was. It was right across the river, and I wouldn't have been able to go to London. So, is the real deal. We've not seen anything, so much more to come. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Eventually, I will probably get to meet. Somewhere down the line, I expect to meet all of the larger initial shareholders in the company. It just seems like um, the pulse I get from the Aduro culture, I used this word yesterday when I was evaluating some work on board a vessel. Um, and the culture of Aduro is very, very unique and right in line with a company that I would love to support. It's just awesome. I think it'd be cool to do a nice retreat with those guys, and I would like to eventually meet Ofer and thank him and Marcus and all the team, because at the end of the day, really, you put all the investing stuff aside, wouldn't it be a wonderful thing to actually see this thing materialize? You know, I know the AI craze is out there. I get it. I use it. It's interesting. Um, you know, I know that there's companies out there that really, if you look below the surface, they do a lot of harm. I'd be hard pressed to suggest that Aduro, in any capacity at all, in their objective, is going to cause the world harm. You know, yeah, yeah. Their objective in commercializing their technology could be extremely monumental in the world and on the global stage as it pertains to the plastic crisis. And you know, just to give a little bit of, you know, fundamentals behind what we think's going on, man. Really good start, guys. I did a half hour extra for you guys, man. Why not? I was feeling it. It was fun tonight. I appreciate you guys. I had a nicer audience tonight, a little more diverse. The would be the legacy subscribers to the channel, man. I want to thank you guys. Really, you're the lifeblood of the channel. I really feel like I've met a lot of really good friends through the Independent Investor channel. What keeps me coming back? I'm not a clown. I'm a real person. If I wasn't having fun with the project, I wouldn't do this. No, I don't do it every week now. I'll skip a week here. I just am not feeling it or whatever. But when I do feel and I throw down, it's a lot of fun for me on the project, man. And you guys have a hell of a lot to do with that. If we can make a little money on the side, collectively empowering that network, then that's exactly what we're striving to do, empowering one investor at a time, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Maybe we'll be back with you next Friday or in a couple of weeks, but the only way you'll know, hit the subscribe button, help support the channel, notification bell. You'll know when I pop on live anyway, man, because hopefully you got some value out of tonight. And hopefully I've earned your trust going forward, guys. So all the best to you, and we'll catch you on the next live stream. Be well. Have a great rest of the weekend, and we'll catch you in the next one.